minutes. The person had made their mind up, called the police had made their minds up, and those men were off to jail. 2 minutes. The biases worked that fast. We also have the account of Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old little boy. They called and said, I think it's a kid with a gun. The police roll up, and within 5 seconds, they had shot Tamir Rice dead. Renisha McBride in Detroit had an accident, hurt her head, staggers to the door for help, gets shot immediately by a civilian. Another little boy on the weekend gets lost, knocks on the door. A young man chases him with a shotgun. Biases aren't just inconvenient. Biases aren't just ugly. Biases are deadly. They are killing people. They will see you make their mind up, call the police, and something happens immediately. When you call the police, you are putting, and you make sure you understand what you're doing. It's not because you think somebody looks suspicious or you're afraid for your life. I mean, obviously there are going to be times when you call the police. But if you call the police just to be funny or just to be curious or just because your interest is piqued, you're putting somebody's life in jeopardy. Biases are killing people. What you think of that person and the police think of that person could end up in that person being dead. Now, you have to imagine, is it worth it? It was a girl in, I think, Walmart in somewhere in Ohio, a place where you can legally, openly carry. She calls the police because a guy's walking around with a toy gun. He's killed. Beaver Creek, Ohio. When you call the police on somebody because they look different, you're risking their lives. Those biases are killing people. It's not just an inconvenient thing. It's not just something that we have to deal with. Every time there's an interaction between police and people of color, there can be an escalation. Oftentimes for nothing. And it's because people oftentimes call police on somebody looks suspicious that they've never seen before, or he doesn't look like he belongs here, or it could be your neighbor. They are killing people. That is the way a lot of people are dying right now. Hell, we had a young lady in Minnesota. She had called the police because she heard a noise. She walks up, she gets shot. It wasn't because of bias, but it was certainly because of police feed. They are ready to shoot all the time, seemingly. We cannot keep having ourselves at the mercy of people whose biases put us in harm's way. I can't change the way you see me, but I can only ask you this. If you're going to call the police on somebody, make sure it's worth it. I guarantee you that girl that called the police in Starbucks, at the end of the day, it wasn't worth it. 8,000 stores closed down, the national news, you lose your job, people go off to jail. That ain't worth it. The girl in Beaver Creek called the police. A man is dead. That ain't worth it. Tamir Rice, 12-year-old boy, he's dead. That ain't worth it. You got to decide if it is or not. It's a simple way to do that. Make sure the black person you see is the person you see for real. Not the one you see in the news, not the one you see in movies, not the one you see in your head. The one you actually see. Because you're betting his or her life. All right, that's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.